Hey, 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 Mr. Burton, how are you?
I'm fantastic. How you doing?
I am fabulous, fantastic, and simply amazing. Thank you so much for asking.
Well, I appreciate you having me have on your show today.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. I really do appreciate you for doing this last minute. I literally called him today and said, "Hey, can I interview you and give some questions?" Well, Mr. Burton, why don't you tell my people a little bit about yourself? But before we get started, let me introduce you. Hi, everybody. I'm Janae. As y'all can see, this is Mr. Deonte Burton out of Atlanta, Georgia. He is here because he is considered one of the many champions that I do know that's in my circle. I always told you guys when you have or when you're building your dream, you need a team and you need a mastermind of individuals who believe in you and actually the vision that you're focusing on. And he's one of those people that sit around my board of directors. So if I need some help or anything like that, he's always there to coach and mentor me. Mr. Burton, can you tell the people a little bit about yourself?
Okay, sure. How you doing? I'm Deonte Burton. I'm an accountant by profession. I'm also a serial entrepreneur. I've started, created, sold, lost, different kind of businesses over the past 20 years. My main business, I own a company called Majestic Business Services, which is a business service term. It's a one-stop shop, small businesses where we do bookkeeping, tax prep, payroll. I own a private equity firm, WDA Investments, where we pretty much make acquisition and purchases on distressed properties or different assets. We try to purchase them at a discount, kind of sell them at a premium or hold them. We own different businesses or different assets with that, like salons, uh, other type of collectibles, things like that. We'll hold with that company. I've also had three Sun Commercial Services, where pretty much we do residential cleaning, residential, some property management, different government contracting with that. I also have two YouTube channels, Changing Lives, hosted by yours truly, Deontay Burton, where we talk about motivational, personal development, and professional development. And also have my financial channel, which is Mr. Short Dollar, where we talk about personal finance, entrepreneurship, business, and real estate investing. So I'm a pretty busy guy, and all during that time, I've also been a youth athletic coach, football coach for the past 20 years, also. And I stay pretty busy and happy.
My goodness, my goodness. I'm gonna tell you something. Most people tell me that their plates are full. Your plate seems full, but you still keep adding to it. And I just read, I don't know what I was reading, but it says something like this, middle class people say that their plate is full, but you will not hear a millionaire or a billionaire saying that their plate is full because they're always looking for ways to invest or excel or improve their wealth and their finances, right? And
Right.
so one of the things I wanted to ask you with all the businesses, everything you got going on, you forgot to mention one of the things, aren't you like the 100 men out of Atlanta? Aren't
Yeah,
you a part of that?
I'm proud member, 100 Black Man, South Metro
Yeah.
chapter, Metro.
Nice.
Yeah.
And on all this that he has on his plate, he has time to coach, mentor, and develop young people, and also give back to the community as being one of the 100 Black men in that organization. So, when you started your career, I should say your businesses, what was your vision?
It's funny you said, well, with my vision. Um, Pretty much one of the things that my whole life, I grew up in the west side of Atlanta in the Bankhead area. I really didn't have a lot of money growing up and everything. I had a great childhood. I don't have any kind of horror stories or anything like that. But I've always been working and hustling my whole life. Nothing crazy, but just from being a little kid, one of the first things my grandfather bought me was a lawnmower. And you always say, like, you want to get your money, go make your own money. So I used to go up and down the street, um, cutting grass, making money, saving cans, walk to the recycling place, 8 or 9 bags, and get about $10, $12. So I've always been that way. Even get to high school, I worked at all the fast food places on Bankhead. So I've always worked and everything. But then as you get older, you just start looking at how you can challenge that in other ways of making money. So I've always been working hard and hustling and try to do everything. I've always been that way. And pretty much anyone that knows me, they grew up with me, they know I've been that way. It's just a matter of the thing that you're working and hustling with just kind of evolve over the years. That's all.
Wow, wow. So, you can be a natural born hustler, or you can be a victim of your as most people want to say, be a victim of their society or their circumstances or their environment. But I'm here to tell you, it's not in the land, it's in the man. And Mr. Burton has proven that so far. And so what are some of the challenges on your road to success that you have faced?
The only challenge you're gonna have, Rick, for the most part, be self doubt, and patience. I think at the end of the day, we all pretty much have the same opportunities. Now, the way if you get to that opportunity, for some people, maybe a little bit easier than others. I look at it as, it's funny. I had a conversation the other day. We were just, I have friends of mine, even close family members that chose to, go a different path in life, and do things. Might have sold drugs or got in trouble and things like that. And it's not a knock on them, but I've always been a smart person, and I always look at friends of family members that did the same thing. They were smart also. Brain capacity doesn't change. It takes a lot of intelligence to start a corporate organization. It takes a lot of intelligence to start a drug organization. The thing of it is, one of the biggest differences is, again, we can go through, I had to do this, I had to do that. Both of them is going to be difficult. But two key things is I think people that choose to go, the wrong way or make things more difficult is, number one, confidence in yourself. Confidence in yourself, knowing that you can actually, be in any kind of sector. Not necessarily, hey, I want to be actually the king of the jungle. I want to be the biggest person in this neighborhood, but being okay, a king among kings. It don't matter if you're around, regardless of the actual social status, or actually regardless of the race. It doesn't matter. You're comfortable being around them. The other key thing is just having patience. A lot of times, even people come to me, they say, hey, I want to start this business up. I want to, make this money, and everything. I said, oh, okay, cool. Especially people come to us, as consulting clients who want to get a business started, get everything off the ground. And I tell them, hey, you got to do A, B, C, and D. And, probably take us about 6 months to a year to get everything started. As soon as you mention that 6 months to a year, they're ready to have a stroke, because people want things now. And patience is, just, sometimes you say patience is a virtue, but it's just sometimes got to be common sense. Wrong wasn't building wrong, and one day you're not going to be a millionaire in one day. And if you can kind of take all the steps to say, hey, I'm going to be here this month, 3 months from now, 6 months from now, a year, 5, 10 years from now, and you make those plans and work backwards from the goal as far as making those different checkpoints at those different points, you should reach your goal. You got some adjustments here and there and stuff like that. But I think that having that patience, and also having, just that confidence in yourself that you can belong in any sector. Those are the two biggest things. We say challenges and everything. And I think once a person gets through that, well, I'm just speaking from myself, because I've always been a pretty much confident person, but you still have to go, get to that point, but also being realistic about, hey, how long things are going to take. But those are probably the only personal challenges. Anything else you just make inside your head.
Wow, that was good stuff. That was some good nuggets right there. I hope you guys are on and taking some notes and not watch the replay. I loved it. Some people, you say 6 months to a year, that's how long it's gonna take them, mapping it out, and they look at you like, what? Boo boo the boo, what's going on with you? But they want to get rich real quick. I always tell people, go play the lottery. Go go take your chances there. But in the interim, most of the times and all of the times when it comes to making money and keeping your money, it's going to take work and dedication. And so with that being said, what is your why? What's driving you towards your success?
Constantly challenging myself, not knowing what I can, don't put any limits on myself. I look at it. It was funny. I had a conversation with my oldest son, who'll be 26 in a couple of weeks, and he just kind of like, he's at the little funky spot in life, trying to figure out what he wants to do and everything like that. And one of those things, me and him just talking about, I was just telling him, you can't have the security of being an employee and also have the actual freedom of being an entrepreneur. You got to figure out where you want to fall into it. And when you ask him about what's your why, I just like kind of just crossing new paths. I love closing deals. I love making money. Most important, I love seeing my family and everybody fine and everything. But I don't like putting limits on myself. I got courses and everything coming out, different things, whatever. And I'm cool with things where, like I said before, I've had things that I tried to do that did work. Some things I had just really blew up in my face and everything. But I don't like saying what what I didn't do. Because I was my grandparents raised me, and I always remember my grandmother talking about she was younger. She used to do hair, and I never seen my grandma do hair. And I was like, well, why you stop doing it, grandma? You know, I was probably about 18 or 19. She's like, well, I just kind of didn't really get to what I wanted to do, but I never could get to it. And she just had a look on her face, and I never wanted to have. And I love my grandma, don't get me wrong,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm very proud of what who she was and what she did for me. But that look, you don't want to have that look on your face. It's just like I wish I had. I wish I would have tried, or you hear people saying if I were younger, I would have did this and that. I don't want to be like that. I don't want to be that used to be person. We used to have this. I used to have that, or I wish. No, I'm not gonna do that with me personally. And so that's the thing about it. If I want to try it, I want to do it. I'm gonna do it if it fits in to what I can do or whatever is feasible. But hey, I don't have no limits. If I want to do it, we want to make it happen. I'm gonna make it happen.
That's it. That's it. No limits. Hashtag everybody, no limits. Don't put yourself in a box. Do not put yourself in a box and don't allow anyone else to put yourself in a box. You are your own worst enemy when you do that. So keep that in mind. You keep it moving. So, Mr. Burton, you have laid a lot of good nuggets. I'm going to do a little segue because you mentioned your 26-year-old son. One of the things that we did not mention, besides you being a father, is your entrepreneurship has passed on to your young men, and they're young. They're still young, but they're doing their thing. Can you speak a little bit about that?
Well, my oldest son, Torrin, he's a Vanderbilt graduate. He played football up there, and he graduated from Vandy. He's on a TAF Sports. He also works as a life insurance agent, but he owns TAF Sports. Had him start that about 3 years ago when he first got out of college. He's a personal trainer and does a lot of youth and adult training with different clients. My second son, that's Deonte Jr. We call him PJ. He's a barber, beautician, pretty much a straight cosmetologist and everything. He actually went to the state championship for cosmetology and everything. He's in school right now, getting ready to in basic training, get ready for a military scholarship he got. And what I try to do, and I have 4 sons, I have one still in two still in school. What I try to instill in my kids is that I don't necessarily have to push the entrepreneur around here. A lot of parents say, hey, listen, you need to be an entrepreneur, you need to do this, that, and that. And I don't really push that because, a lot of times people get, sometimes side hustle confused with straight entrepreneur. And what I mean by that, and it's not to devalue anything, is that when you're out here doing this stuff, and I had talked about this in one of my shows, the 3 different levels of entrepreneurship. When you're out here solely out here getting, making your money, this is the only way you eat and stuff, you got to think a little different. And you got to be, prepared for, for things coming in, things not coming in and everything. It's not meant for everybody. But what I do tell my children, I, try to push this on as many people as possible. Stay in control of your destiny. The more tools you got in the toolkit, the more things you can do. The less tools you got, the more you got to sell and ask. And I think what COVID-19 showed a lot of people is that there aren't the rug can get pulled on from up under your feet very quickly, and things can change overnight. There were a lot of people making a lot of plans in January and February. Once March hit, they were just devastated. And if you weren't in a position to pivot, if you didn't have other tools in your toolkit to take advantage of it, a lot of people are asking. And regardless of even the election today, I think a lot of people still going to be in a reactionary mode, depending on what it is. So if you actually can add more and more tools to your toolkit, you can fix cars, you can paint, you can plumb, just different things. You can do landscaping or whatever. The more tools you can put in your toolkit, the less you're going to be putting yourself in a dangerous position of asking. This world is changing. This world is constantly evolving. There were people, 30, 40 years ago were just thinking, hey, I can work at this job for 30 years and retire and be fine. And those options just aren't there no more. And if you're not putting yourself in a position to pivot, it's going to be straight reactive to everything, that is very, very, very dangerous. And that's one of the biggest things I harp to my kids is that regardless of whatever you choose to do in life, do not put yourself in a reactive position. We want to make sure that we can be as proactive as possible. So if this is taken from you, you can do this. If that's taken from you, you can do that. And that's the way, I think that to kind of keep yourself balanced and not necessarily stuck so much in life. Because like I said, again, I'm not, I'm big on entrepreneurship. I love it. Don't get me wrong. But there's a temperament you got to have because I'm just, and I don't want to go too far off the subject, but I take myself in consideration just with the tax business. We started doing promotions late November, hard in November and December, and we're not going to get any money coming in to mid-February. So you're talking about 4 or 5 months of putting out before you get a dollar. Most people are not built for that. And then we're talking about 4 or 5 months of working, and then no more money coming in. And you got to be disciplined enough to, once you get this money coming in, not to spend it all up, but still knowing that, hey, this is how this cycle is going to go back over. You got to be kind of wired a certain way to do that, and it's not meant for everybody. It's not meant for everybody and everything. So I think the best thing in life is find out what's best for you, but still always put yourself in a position where you have those different tools in your toolkit.
Awesome, man. You just went into, the last two questions. That was some great advice to give to others, putting stuff in your toolkit other than like limiting yourself in a box, and basically just being ready and being prepared for anything. But I really love what you said about having the difference between a side hustle and entrepreneurship, and actually having to work before you even get paid. But I want to say to people who are, working their 9 to 5s and they have their careers going on, when you first get a job, you don't come in on a pay period getting paid. That is very rare. You have to work first before you get a paycheck.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, but the difference is either you waiting on your investment to come through, or you waiting on somebody else's investment to go through, but you still got to wait to get paid. So don't let that limit you. But I also like, Mr. Burton, when you said it is not for everybody. It really isn't. But I will tell each and every one of you this: try it. What is no, just like we got to try something one time in life. You only get one time, and it may not be for you. But Mr. Burton gave you some good nuggets, just on his experience, and you already heard all the different things he's doing to help you to kind of think on it. Think on it. But Mr. Burton, I want to tell you, thank you so much for coming on and just, talking the truth, speaking the truth. Any shout outs to anything?
No. One quick thing I do want to add in regards to, what you're saying there too. Not only just being that delayed gratification of, hey, putting things out for it to grow later, but also when you be in business. This is one of the biggest things I think hurting a lot of young entrepreneurs. Now, when I mean young, I'm not talking about age. I'm talking about as far as years of being in business.
Mm-hmm.
Realistic that of what you can and can't do. You only got 2 arms. You only got 2 legs. Understand that you might have to outsource. You may have to hire people. And understand this: that person will be okay with that person making more money than you. If you're paying a person a certain amount of money more, and you're not really pulling into yourself, understand that that person, in the grand scheme of things, is going to make more money for you eventually. But you just, those are kind of things with that. But go to one last thing I do want to add: constantly invest in you. Try to learn as much as you can. Pay the money, and go a little further than Google and YouTube. Remember that information is free and accessible to everybody, and it's great. But it's also the same thing here, and you're going to get the results of what's free and accessible to everybody. For you get that extra amount of game and everything like that, you got to pay for it. And don't be afraid of doing that. Be smart. Kind of do your research and everything like that. But join mastermind groups, join different Facebook groups or secret groups and stuff like that to share ideas and bump different theories against other people that's in the industry and everything. But don't be afraid to invest in yourself. Make sure you do it. I think that's just pivotal. You got to have constant growth and everything. As far as just parting shout outs, make sure you check out you follow me on my social media platforms. First, you can check out the YouTube channel, Change Your Life, hosted by yours truly, Deonte Burton. You can see both of those on Facebook. You see that show on Facebook and YouTube. Also, Mr. Short Dollar, same thing on Facebook and YouTube. You can follow me at Deonte _77 on Instagram, Majestic Biz on Twitter. And if anything, if you go to the any one of the social media platforms, I have all the different links. Again, that's Change Live, hosted by yours truly, Deonte Burton on YouTube and Facebook, and Mr. Short Dollar on YouTube and Facebook as well. But again, at the bottom of all the videos and everything, you'll see all the different links to the different platforms as well.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Thank you so much, everyone who has tuned in. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate you. If you guys have any questions or want to get in contact with Mr. Burton, he's already given your links. But if you didn't catch him, by all means, you can inbox me. I'll be able to give you that information, no problem whatsoever. But like always, you guys, I like likes. I like hearts, and y'all know what I like. I love me some shares, and I love shares because sharing is caring. Because even though this information may not be for you, and it's not even your path, you may know somebody that this can benefit. So by all means, go ahead and share it. And the last thing, you guys, I love you, and there's nothing you can do but love me back. I want you guys to wash those hands, wear your mask, and stay COVID safe. Be blessed and have a great Transformation Tuesday.
Thanks for having me on. All
Thank you.
right, take care.